Chair recognizes Speaker Pro Tem Chatfield.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to this bill, and for the purpose of avoiding to be dilatory, I will seek to make my comments simply in things that have not been mentioned yet. I want to address some of the concerns that have been raised from representatives on both sides of the aisle, and I'm particularly interested and excited about speaking to this legislation because I was one of the primary sponsors of these bills last year. I truly believe that any day we have the opportunity in our state as a legislative body to uphold the constitutional rights that have already been provided to people and are enumerated not only in our state constitution but our federal constitution is a good day in our legislature. In fact, I wish we did this every single day. Now, first, I want to reference some of the questions that have been asked by some of the sponsors or some of the people who spoke to this legislation. The question was just brought up: will this make our communities safer? I wholeheartedly believe allowing law-abiding citizens the opportunity to have the same freedoms that criminals already do in this state will make our communities safer. As a father of 5 children, I am very concerned about the safety of my family. I truly believe that by having the opportunity to conceal a firearm or open carry provides me the opportunity to protect them. But it's important to understand, when we're speaking of gun laws and we use the word criminals, let's all acknowledge this fact. Criminals do not obey the law. Criminals don't obey the gun laws we have on the books now, and criminals will not obey any new legislation that we pass. That is why we call them criminals. So what we have is a society where criminals get to conceal carry wherever they would like without training because they have no regard for the law. And our law-abiding citizens are the ones who have restrictions put on their constitutional rights. I've also heard it asked, why are we getting rid of the permit required to carry a firearm? The debate here and the confusion is not whether or not we believe that you need a permit to carry a firearm. In fact, I believe you do. The confusion seems to be where the permit comes from. I believe this Michigan Constitution that I had brought to my desk about 5 minutes ago is your permit. Now let me read for you. The Second Amendment has been referenced and quoted a couple times. Let me read for you the very brief Article 1, Section 6 in our Michigan Constitution when it talks about firearms. Every person has a right to keep and bear arms for the defense of himself and the state. Now, what you don't find in the Michigan Constitution is a requirement for training. What you don't find in the Michigan Constitution is a fee that you have to pay to exercise your freedom. Now, as was mentioned by my colleague from Bay County who gave a brilliant history on the Bill of Rights, William Blackstone's Commentaries on the Laws of England, which our U.S. Constitution and Declaration of Independence are largely built upon, let me reiterate this to you, because there seems to be some confusion about what constitutional rights are. Our Declaration of Independence clearly understands that our rights, our constitutional rights, don't come from the government. Our right to defend ourselves comes from our Creator. The purpose of government is to secure those rights. The Declaration says we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The next line is this, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. Let's not become so drunk with our power here in this legislature that we think we are actually the ones that decide what rights our people have. Rights come from the Creator. We are here to secure them. Now, referencing that Constitution, it's the Constitution that all of us, if you're serving in this body, we're required to take an oath to uphold. Today's a good day. Today's a day you get to vote for the Constitution. If we don't require training and a freedom fee to exercise your First Amendment rights, why do we do it for our Second Amendment rights? I encourage all my colleagues to support this legislation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.